Garrett Morgan left home at age 14, seeking his niche in life, and eventually opened his own sewing machine shop in Cleveland, Ohio. But he spent his off hours dreaming up inventions and building them in his workshop. One of those inventions, a filtered breathing device, would save lives. Initial sales of the inhalator enjoyed some success among local fire departments, but it wasn't until July of 1916 that the inhalator gained national attention. An explosion in a tunnel trapped 30 men in what appeared to be a hopeless situation. Morgan was called to the scene. With his breathing device, he went in and retrieved every man. In World War I, his gas mask would become standard equipment for soldiers in the field, and his invention would be responsible for saving countless lives in decades to come. Garrett Morgan, a story of American ingenuity.
In order to maintain your ideal weight, it's important to keep the right balance between the foods you eat and your level of physical activity. If the number of calories you eat exceeds the number your body uses, you may find it to be more than you can balance effectively. If you keep a close eye on your food intake versus your amount of physical activity, maintaining your ideal weight can be much easier.
When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands, Thomas Paine calls it common sense. America will be free. But how soon? At what enormous cost, this liberty? Nathan Hale, an American patriot, is hanged. A spy, they call him in England. In August, General Washington is forced to evacuate New York. But within not too many weeks, he crosses the icy Delaware and goes on to win the Battle of Trenton. One of many victories in the name of a dream called freedom, shaping America in 1776.
Every year, Dad got us together for a family portrait. Then he always insisted on a second picture wearing his grandfather's World War I flying hat. We've been doing it for years. The photos are a great family tradition. So here we are, 20 years later, and Dad is still wearing that hat. Okay, ready to go?
Hurry up, honey, hurry up, Dad.
Maybe it's time I passed the hat. Get it?
Family traditions don't cost much, and they last a lifetime. Keep your family traditions alive year after year.
For want of a nail, hard to turn out enough of them to build the barricades and barracks the Continental Army needs desperately. Still, winning the war proves to be tough as nails. Colonists lose the Battle of Princeton. At Monmouth, the fortification in New York is taken by a superior British force. Brandywine is lost, so is Germantown. The English even take Philadelphia, beloved Philadelphia. Worst to come is facing winter at a camp called Valley Forge. But the colonists know that better days must lie ahead, because you can't smother the spirit of freedom once it's born. In 1777,
it was New England's natural beauty that most inspired Robert Frost, one of America's most beloved poets. The winner of 4 Pulitzer Prizes, his thoughtful words inspire us even today. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Review your will every year, and every time a significant change happens in your life, update your will. Questions about wills? Contact your legal assistance office for help.
In the 1920s, flight was still a new experience for most people, and the technology was improving almost daily. In 1929, a theater designer named Norman Bell Geddes and an engineer named Otto Kohler designed a passenger plane. But not just any passenger plane. This one could accommodate 450 passengers, and its crew would include a manicurist, a librarian, and 7 musicians. There'd be a large formal dining room, private dining rooms, a beauty parlor, and a glass-enclosed promenade housing a long list of shops. Powered by 20 engines, the mammoth plane would make the flight from the Midwestern United States to Europe in about 42 hours. Unfortunately, 1929 was also the year the Great Depression hit. People were barely getting by, and luxuries were few. By the time the nation recovered, smaller, more economical planes had become the standard. And this luxury airliner never made it off the blueprints.
100 million years ago, dinosaurs ruled the Earth. These mammoth beasts had fierce tempers and huge, powerful bodies. But their brains were quite small, with little or no capacity for common sense whatsoever. They didn't even wear their safety belts. If they had, they may not be extinct today. The safety belt should be worn in every driving situation. We humans could learn something from history.
Hello there. Surprised to see a king working up a sweat? Not when it's king of the cardiovascular, sovereign of the circulatory system, big boss of the bloodstream. You see, if you don't get enough activity, your chances of developing high blood pressure could increase greatly. Okay, cars, cut! So here's the deal. Get up and get some exercise, or you've got the deck stacked against you. Okay, jumping jacks. Ace, deuce, ace, deuce.
In 1916, for the first time, the U.S. Army used motor vehicles to move supplies in combat. General John J. Pershing requisitioned customized cars and trucks for his expedition into Mexico. Motor vehicles promised vast improvements in military logistics that would soon be realized in World War I. In 1916, for the first time, the U.S. Army used motor vehicles to move supplies in combat. General John J. Pershing requisitioned customized cars and trucks for his expedition into Mexico. Motor vehicles promised vast improvements in military logistics that would soon be realized in World War I. In 1916, for the first time, the U.S. Army used motor vehicles to move supplies in combat. General John J. Pershing requisitioned customized cars and trucks for his expedition into Mexico. Motor vehicles promised vast improvements in military logistics that would soon be realized in World War I.
Riding along in his grocery cart, her baby strapped in as they depart. She stole a kiss at the turn of the aisle, his curiosity running wild. Cruising along, but he's safe, we know, with no particular place to go.
Protect your little ones in the commissary. Buckling them up keeps them safe.
Riding along in his grocery cart.
At the turn of the 17th century, French and English traders and fishermen were regularly visiting Maine waters. In 1604, the French claimed Maine as part of their province of Acadia, and Britain included it in territory granted to the Plymouth Company in 1607. For more than 100 years, control of the area was in dispute until the British conquered the French in eastern Canada. Some say the English named the region for England's Queen Henrietta Maria, who was Duchess of the French province of Maine. Others say it's an English name, referring to the mainland, to distinguish it from the many islands which dot the coast. In either case, The name Maine was first documented in a British land grant to Sir Fernando Gorges in 1622. Maine, the land beyond the islands, or a tribute to a queen?
For almost 80 years, we've guarded the land below from the skies above. Join the proud tradition. Join the Air National Guard. Americans at their best.
In the early 19th century, American regiments sent out recruiting parties, searching for able-bodied men willing to serve in exchange for food, clothing, and shelter. Recruit, from the Latin recrescere, means to grow again. Well, recruiting methods have changed over time, but recruits are still sought for the same reason, to keep units up to strength. Recruiting, an ongoing tradition of our American military heritage.